Hello everybody, this is AJ, the Movie Owl, back again for my Punisher, a collection walkthrough, part 7. A lot of parts. Anyway, so, after what we looked at initially, obviously we had Dark Reign, Civil War, Secret Invasion, the Franken-Castle stuff. Yeah, a lot of fun, a lot of mainstream Marvel heroes popping up in those comics. Punisher was well and truly back in the MCU in the 616. So, that brings us to what came next. Okay, first off, I'll share this one with you. Drawn by a great artist, Mark Texeira. You may know the name. He has drawn Ghost Rider. He was the one who brought back... He done a few covers that I showed back in one of the parts. He drew Ghost Rider, the Danny Ketch version. He went on to work for Image Comics. So anyway, this is a 5-part series called Punisher Nightmare. It is happening again. So that's issue 1. Issue 2, issue 3, issue 4, and the final issue being issue 5. I'll show you some of Mark Texeira's art. Mark Texeira is a good artist. He can handle this kind of comic book with ease. His work on Ghost Rider at the time was outstanding. Yeah, so, you know, decent enough art. The story obviously was about another soldier who goes through a similar sort of some events as Frank Castle, and it looks like there might be another version of the Punisher coming about. Obviously that doesn't come to pass. Okay, next up, as an ongoing series, we get to stuff written by Greg Rucka. I believe he's written some quite good runs on Wolverine some time ago. Yeah, so anyway, let's get to that. That's issue 1. Issue 2. My apologies. Issue 1 variant cover. Yes, we're back with variants again. And another issue 1 variant cover. And then Marvel will do another issue 1 variant cover, which is plain. Now, Marvel done this with a lot of their comics, where it's just a title and a plain thing. I think the idea was so that you could actually get them, if you go to a convention, you can get them sketched upon. I did acquire one sketched. Yes. Introducing Punish Her. Yeah. I don't know who the artist is who drew it. But yeah, so that's an original piece, original drawing on the cover. If I took a rubber to it, it would rub out. Obviously, you can see the logo has been shaded in. Yes, very nice. This series does introduce another female version of the Punisher, so it is kind of relevant. A relevant cover to the series. So anyway, where were we? That was issue 1. Bloody hell. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 covers to issue 1 if you don't count that, because it's the same. It's the blank cover but with a drawing on it. Sorry. So that's issue 2. Issue 3. Issue 4. Got some good covers. Issue 5. And a variant of issue 5, which is in homage to New Mutants issue 1 cover, I believe. Yeah. Issue 6. Issue 7. This is a nice cover. Issue 8. The Punisher does spend time with one eye on it. Issue 9. And for some reason, like a variant cover of the Avenging Spider-Man issue 6 in the back with obviously the Punisher logo. So that was obviously a Punisher appearance that I decided to stick in the back of that one for some reason. What did I say that was? Sorry, that was issue 9, 8. How long I think I couldn't count. That was 9. So this is issue 10. And again, I've placed another comic in the back. Daredevil Man Without Fear. Issue 11 at the time. Obviously, Punisher appearance. Don't remember. I think actually, yes, it's part of the storyline because you have the Omega effect. The Omega effect begins. So it was obviously a crossover at that point that I cannot recall. Yeah, the Omega effect. That's issue number 10, variant cover. So issue 10 variant. Issue 11, 12. Issue 13, as you can see, we got the introduction of this character. I can't recall her name. She wasn't Lynn Michaels, she was someone else. A detective of some sort. I do think Lynn Michaels does come into it at some point, though. But there you go. Yeah, so that there being issue 14. Issue 15. And final issue, issue 16. Now, like the previous series, it wasn't cancelled in that sense. It was ended there. Then we got, by Greg Rucka again, Punisher Warzone miniseries. So essentially, this story could have continued in that series, but because let's make some more money with an issue 1, let's do it. Now, this series introduced a lot of, well, not introduced, but it had the Avengers in it. They decide to hunt down Frank Castle and bring his reign of terror or his war to an end. So that's issue 1 of that. Variant cover of issue 1, Spider-Man. Obviously, it looks like an M16 going into his chest. That's variant issue 2. As you can see, you've got all the Avengers. Issue 3. Thor. Issue 4. And issue 5. Which I believe ends with, I'm sure Frank gives himself in. I mean, he has, you know, he obviously has a battle with everyone, blah, 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 blah. He holds his own, I'm guessing. But what can he really do when it comes to the Avengers? Do you know what I mean? And if you recall, I mentioned about the relationship he has with Captain America. Obviously, Captain America appears here, as you can see. Let me read you that excerpt. You have, you're done, Frank. It's over. It's finished. Let it end. No. Yes. And you know it. Mission accomplished. Congratulations. Now you will stand down, Marine. That's an order. That's from Captain America. And Frank Castle says, sir, yes, sir. So he has a lot of respect for Captain America, like I said. Anyway, so it ends with Frank Castle being placed in the raft, which you've seen in Civil War, the film. But you still have the female character as the Punisher left over. Now, unfortunately, they done very little with that. Yes, didn't really explore that storyline at all, which would have been fine. Got no issue with that. Female version. Anyway, that led into the trial of the Punisher. 2-part, written by Guggenheim. Someone Guggenheim. Let's have a quick gander, shall we? Well, I will do. Let's find his name. I can't find it. It's got to be in here somewhere. Bear with me. Mark Guggenheim. Leniel Francis Yu, who's a good artist. He's done a lot of work. A lot of covers within Marvel. Yeah, so obviously I think that culminated in Frank Castle escaping at the end, or potentially. But just an aside there, I have 2 issues here also of Superior Spider-Man team up with the Punisher, which I've kept in these boxes. I do have historic team-ups from back in the day, back in the original runs, but they're all kept away in boxes, unfortunately, which I must dig out at some point. Yeah, so Superior Spider-Man was a comic book. That's issue 10, 9 and 10. This was a comic book where Dr. Octavius, Dr. Octopus, became the Spider-Man. He's actually in the body of Peter Parker. I think it caused a lot of stir up with Spider-Man fans. I did read it and I quite enjoyed it. It was very well done. So anyway, after that we did have another ongoing Punisher series. This again is the let's make it run for about 20 issues, cancel it, start again. 20 issues, cancel it, start again. Before I get onto that series, I'll show you another mini-series that was done at the time. Again, an odd one, but Mark Texeira, as we've already spoken about, done the art. Space Punisher. Yeah, so it's basically the Punisher in space. It's its own standalone sort of comic. It's only 4 issues. It's not in the continuity of it's not in the continuity of the other Punisher series or anything, 616 universe as they call it. It's just a sort of fun little aside, shall we speak. So that was my aside for that side. Anyway, so oh dear, that then brought us into the Punisher again. Issue 1. Issue 2. It's got a young variant. All the Marvel comics had this sort of a variant where there was a young version of the character. Yeah, I don't know, but there you go. It was a thing. Issue 2. Issue 3. Issue number 4. Issue number 5. I do recall this because the Punisher started wearing a mask for a while, like a balaclava. I didn't like it. It's stupid. It makes no sense. The reason the Punisher has a skull on his chest is to take people's when people are shooting at him, to draw them towards his centre of mass, essentially, where he would be protected. So he goes and wears a skull on the face. It kind of like, you know, I don't know, silly. But there you go. It's issue 6, issue 7, issue 8, issue 9, guest starring Black Widow, and an advert for Guardians of the Galaxy. Give you some sort of an idea of the era that we're in. Issue 10. Issue 11. A variant edition of issue 11. Don't ask me. I'd still got it. Issue 12. I can't remember nothing about this run. Issue 13. Issue 14. And a variant for issue 14. Punisher in for the National Championship Monday, January 12th. Monday, January 12th, 8:30 PM ET, ESPN. National Championship football, guess an American football tie-in or something, I don't know. Issue 15, issue 16, issue 17 with the mask, Captain America's shield, but as you can see, Sam Wilson as Captain America. That's obviously when, at the point in time in the comics where Sam Wilson stepped into the role of Captain America. Issue 18, still with the mask. Last days of the Punisher. Yep. Issue 19. And let's cancel it with issue 20. Ant-Man coming to cinemas. Yes, so I will take a quick look. I'll share some of the art, if you can see that. I don't really know how this series ended or the like. You know, it's because there's so many starts and stops, it becomes rather annoying. So it ends with basically the Punisher being shot up and and drowning is ... like he's drowning in his own blood. I don't know. It's a very odd era for the comics. It's like, you know, like I said, cancel it, start again. Cancel it, start again. Another aside, this is in that box of mine. Captain America, issue 241. This is the very first time that the Punisher met Captain America. Another aside. January of... I can't see the date on that. It looks like 1979. Yes, so Punisher, Captain America. Nice. So, that leads us to another series entitled, believe it or not, The Punisher. Losing my words. Parental advisory, not for kids. So, Clunan. I will have a look at the art in a minute. That's issue 1. We then have another Scotty Young variant for issue 1. A toy cover figure variant. And a retail store cover variant. I can't even remember getting these of issue 1. And the same one again, signed by Steve Dillon. Let's see if it will authenticity in the back. Apparently, don't remember that. And another variant, issue 1. Yes, let's knock out them variant covers. Yeah. So anyway, oh, I don't believe this. That is another variant of issue 1. Saw me coming with this series, didn't they? So then, issue 2. And a variant for it. I'm joking. It's issue 3. Yep. Issue 4. And let's have a look inside, shall we, at the art. Now, I know the art. Obviously, Steve Dillon signed the front cover of that issue. Steve Dillon did do the art, the interior arts. You'll recognise him from the earlier runs on the Garth Ennis era of the Punisher. It's always nice to see Steve Dillon come back and draw the Punisher. He's a great visual storyteller, a lot of fun. You can see the era we're in, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 4, I believe that is, with Ghost Rider. Yeah, so that's where we're at. Welcome back, Steve Dillon, to the Punisher. Yes, so that was issue number 5. And then, for some reason, Punisher, the Defenders variant for issue 5. Issue 6. Issue 7. And a variant for issue 7. And a variant for issue 7. I'm not joking. See, number 7. Blimey. Issue 8. Steve Dillon's no longer drawing at this point. Issue 9. Issue 10. Oh, and a variant for issue 10. Drawn by Joe Jusko, who we've discussed in the earlier runs of the Punisher, where he'd done a few covers. Used to draw a lot of trading cards. Great artist. Yes. Issue 11. Jaws. Issue 12. Issue 13. And a variant for issue 13. Mary Jane Watson. Obviously in homage to, again, to Amazing Spider-Man issue 129, the very first appearance of the Punisher. The yellow background, Punisher there, sight scope, and her target, in this case Mephisto. No, he didn't turn up in WandaVision. And obviously in the original comic that would have been Spider-Man. The reason Mary Jane Watson is on the cover like this isn't for any reason to do with the story within. It's I believe it to be just variant covers they'd done on several comics. There was something going on with Mary Jane Watson, I suppose, at the time, so they thought they'd throw her onto the covers of stuff in looking like characters. I don't know. I've actually got 2 of them. Tell you what, if people want to subscribe, once I hit a nice number of figures, say 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to do some giveaways with my doubles. I'll come back and do some giveaways. So that was issue 13. Issue 14. Again, issue 14, variant. That's obviously some sort of X-Men. It's a Jim Lee famous artist, Jim Lee. Very good artist. Worked on the X-Men a lot and other stuff. So sorry, that was issue 14. Then we come to issue number 15. Poltergeist just shut my door. Issue 16. Oh, advert there for a Marvel TV series, Inhumans. Who remembers that disaster? So, and issue 17. Issue 17 being the final issue. Like I said, Marvel in there. Well, let's take it to about 20, cancel. But again, literally a month later, after that, we had start to Punisher Legacy. Yes. Frank Castle in the War Machine armour. Now, I'm not going to get to this lot now. This will be in my next video. I've still got a few more bits to show that were in this comic box and Punisher related. Just because they were there, so why not? So that was issue 17, the final issue of that run on the Punisher. I don't really remember too much about it, but it did have an annual as well. That's the cover. And a variant cover, which obviously I got both because I'm a Punisher completist. Now in this box also, I had this bunch of stuff. So I'll show that, and then I'll leave it at that. So I've been knocking these videos out a considerable amount, quite fast. So first up is an Amazing Spider-Man issue 162, guest star in the Punisher, and Nightcrawler, £1.60. Yeah, obviously it wasn't picked up at the time. That was bought from Gosh Comics. The ticket is dated 27th of the 12th 2002. The price ticket on it. Gosh was a comic shop on Great Russell Street in London, WC1. Shout out to Gosh Comics. I know they did move into Soho area, and as far as I'm aware, they're still going strong. Yeah, I used to go there a lot. Okay, next up is Marvel Tales issue 209. Mike Zeck cover. Again in homage of, kind of in homage, but this does reprint. This does reprint that very first Punisher appearance within. So I don't know how many people have seen this. The first page is that Punisher's working with the Jackal. That is the Punisher's very first cover from 1974. This issue, not from 1974, like I said, this is Marvel Tales starring Spider-Man reprinted classic stories. This issue is from 1987. I do have it reprinted several times, different kind of sort of formats or different releases of reprints, but I do have the original, as you know, from my very first video. So representing the first appearance of the Punisher. Yes, obviously he started as a villain for Spider-Man, but the idea was always to make him into a sort of anti-hero. Next up, I have an issue 1 of Dynamic Forces, issue 1 of Marvel Knights Punisher, signed by Jimmy Palmiotti. Jimmy Palmiotti signature. Dynamic Forces, Certificate of Authenticity, number 97 of 2,500 copies by all accounts. Yeah, so I can't remember getting that. And next up, issue 1 of Marvel Knights. This is the ongoing Marvel Knights series. Again, Dynamic Forces, signed by Garth Ennis, Steve Dillon, and Jimmy Palmiotti. That's Steve Dillon's signature there. That's Jimmy Palmiotti, and Garth Ennis is through the title at the top there. Yeah, so, and that is number 236 of 1,500, 1,500 copies. Oh, next up, Punisher Warzone. Yes, issue 1. Again, signed by Steve Dillon, with Ma Ganucci on the cover. Like I said, she lost her arms and legs. This signature was acquired at Kapow Comic Convention in London, April 2011, of which Steve Dillon was a guest. Yes. Next up, another Dynamic Forces, number 176. 399 copies, signed by John Romita. 179, he's numbered it as well. Yep, John Romita, who was one of the guys who actually originally created the Punisher, as we spoke about before in the original Amazing Spider-Man 129. John Romita Sr. Next up, Punisher War Journal, the original series, 61. Suicide Run, Part 1. Again, Dynamic Forces. Limited to 5,000 copies, sorry. Signed by Chuck Dixon and Gary Kwapsik or something. Gary Kwapsik and Chuck Dixon. Signature there. Next up, I did speak about it, but I never showed it, was I do have this series, but this is an alternate a cover signed by Wolverine Punisher Revelation. It's one specially limited number of limited series of 7,500 copies, signed by Nicola something or other. Anyway, it's number 6,000. This is where the Punisher was still demonized. Hence, he's got some stupid weapon on his on his hand. Yes, I didn't know I had this, but I've actually got 2 copies of the Captain America first appearance of him and the Punisher. Let's have a look. So, if I reach 1,000 subscribers for this channel, I'm going to create a special giveaway Punisher video. It's old, obviously. So my doubles, like this sort of thing, I will put into it. Punisher. Punisher with Captain America. Do you know what I love about these old comics, though? Is that smell, that musky comic book smell that you just don't get anymore. So, yeah, please subscribe. Once we get to 1,000, I'm going to give some of these doubles away. Next up, I have Ultimate Avengers 2, issue 1. Just Punisher variant. And this here, which, to be honest, I've got no recollection as to what this is inside. So, Punisher kills the Marvel Universe. I spoke about this as well. So this was a comic whereby, I believe this is probably a second printing. I do have the first, but this is a comic in which Frank Castle, the Punisher, for some reason, which I cannot recall, decides to hunt down and kill all of the characters in the Marvel Universe. He kills the Hulk. So basically, Hulk smash. He shoots the Hulk with a tracer. And when the Hulk turns back into Bruce Banner, he pops him. Yeah, let's see another good death. Doctor Doom. And he places some sort of magnetic bomb to his head, which subsequently explodes. Good old Frank. The X-Men. The X-Men, he decides to blow up with a nuclear warhead. Wolverine. Gets into a fight with blah 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 blah, and manages to run him through with his own claws, and lobs him into a electrified, like substation-y type electric box thing that fries him. So he sets about killing everyone. Yes, even Captain America. I won't read, but yeah, he puts a gun to the back of his head. Blam. Yeah, so sorry, I was getting into looking at that then. Daredevil. Yeah, it was a good read. It was written by like I said, by Garth Ennis, The Mind of Garth Ennis. It does end with, I'm not going to tell you. Do you want to know? Tell me if you want to know. And if you want to know how that ends, I'll tell you in the next video. Just tell me below. Otherwise, I don't really want to spoil it if you have any intention of maybe looking into it. Punisher kills the Marvel Universe. Yes. So, I'm going to leave it at that for tonight. Obviously, I showed what comes next after all that stuff, after, you know, after all these bits I showed, bits and bobs, after the Punisher run with the Silly Mask. Or was it the other run? I don't know. It was the other run. It wasn't a Silly Mask run. It was the other run. See, I'm confusing myself. The run that ended there, yeah, issue 17. I showed you what came next. If you've forgotten, it is the Marvel Legacy stuff, where Frank Castle got a hold of the War Machine armour and used it for his own deeds. So yes, again, I'm going to say good night to you. I'm going to leave it there. Please subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. Give me one of them. That'd be appreciated. Leave me some messages. Let me know if you'd like to know the end of that. How that ends. Kills the Punisher universe. Like I said, subscribe. And some of these doubles could be working their way to people. I've got other doubles that I haven't even shown. I just sort of two of them. Yeah. So anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And I will see you in, I think it's part 8 next, isn't it? Which should pretty much be the final part. But I will carry on, and like I said, I will do some Punisher-related videos on the films. I've got a lot to say there. On the TV series, you know, Netflix TV series, on collectibles that you may have been seeing in the videos. Yeah, so anyway, good night all. Have a lovely evening. Keep safe. And don't do anything I wouldn't do. Take care of yourselves. Good night.